G'day guys, welcome back. Well, I've got the XLF X03 Truggy here. I reviewed this only a couple of days ago over the last weekend, and you can feel free to watch that video if you like. I'll put a link to it in the top right hand corner of the screen during this video. Now, about 7 minutes into the first test drive of this truck, this is a brushless Truggy 1/12 scale, even though they advertise it as a 110. It is 1/12. After running it around, I encountered some issues, some overheating issues. The motor was getting hot, and also the gears. It seemed like the back of the truck, it was starting to grind and mesh pretty badly in the gears. So today I'm going to have a go at looking at what could be the possible issue with this truck, because I've had a few questions on my video, and apparently after making my review video I looked on YouTube and there was another reviewer that had the same issue with the actual truck version of this, the truck bodied version, which looks very much like the XLF X03A. It's a black, it's pretty much in the same sort of design as this black and red, but in this body design. That's the XLF. This one is the XLF X03A, and I had no issues with this one. This is a really good truck. So I think they might be made by the same company. I'm not too sure because the XLF model number or model code, but they are slightly different. And I'll show you also the difference between this and this. There's only a couple of little differences, but some of the parts on this seem like they're upgraded from that model there. So anyway guys, I'm just shooting this on my phone, not my action camera, because I need to recharge it. So just bear with me on the quality of this video if it's not the best or if it's okay. I just tapped the screen there and made it darker. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can maybe make this run a bit better. I've got a couple of little theories that I think might have attributed to the overheating and so forth. The first thing I think is maybe these tires are too big, okay guys, for this tiny little motor in there that's powering this truck. It's a really small 2847 sized 3000 kV motor. So what I've done, I've actually got these Feiyu wheels that I'm going to try on it, which are exactly the same style as smaller wheels that run on the I was going to call this a Feiyu, the XLF X03A, and this one didn't have any overheating issues. So I'm thinking, you know, the size of these wheels, being the Xinlihong 9125 tires, are putting a greater load on this truck and the gearing in this truck to make it play up. That's just one theory. So I think these tires, they're thick. They're actually thinner in width as well, and thinner in actual diameter. So or smaller in diameter. So I think I'll try that out. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna just open this up. By opening up, I'm going to take the body shells off both, and I'll show you the small differences between the two, and then I'll start working on the X03. Okay, so here's the body shell taken off the X03, which you would have seen in my review video. Now, the slight differences between this one and the XLF X03A, it's easy to get muddled up with these names, because the model names, because they're pretty much identical. As you can see here, this X03A model truck has got a heat sink on it, okay, while the X03 Truggy does not. So that's just a little add-on that they've put here. The motor size is fairly the same, pretty close. I think this is a 2838 sized. I can't remember the actual kV rating. I'll write it up on the screen. I think it might be 3000 or 3300 on this one, but I had no issues with this one. They added a heatsink on this one, which they didn't on the new one. ESCs look identical. as you can see here, this new model here, the Truggy, they claim it's a 40 amp, but on the 03A they claim it's a 35 amp, so who knows? They look the same to me, don't they? 40 amp, 35 amp, I don't know about that. They might be both 35 amp or they might be both 40 amp. But as you can see, I'll try to get through this quickly. Everything else is the same. You see the chassis is the same. Okay, bar the motor. Everything is the same. Okay. They both got CVDs. Alright, they both got CVDs on the front and rear. The difference between this one though, they've upgraded the hub casings here, the inner hub casings, to metal, when the previous model, the XLF X03A, are plastic, as you can see there. Okay, but they do have the hubs, the hexes rather, are metal, and so are the hexes on there are metal that hold the actual wheel on. Okay, 12mm hex. Shockies, they're both friction. Okay, this one's friction. Okay, I'm not too sure if you can put oil in these. These just look similar to the older Zinlihong style, and these ones look like the upgraded Zinlihong 9125 shocks. They don't have any oil in them, but I'll open one of them up and we'll have a look if you can indeed put oil in them. Probably will leak out though, you know, if they don't have the right seals in them. All right. Servos look exactly the same. Everything looks identical, guys, except this one. They added a heat sink, so that would help dissipate the heat from this little motor overheating. I don't know why they didn't. If it is the same company that's making it, I don't know why they didn't put one on this motor. All right. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap these tires and wheels over first, and I'll see how it runs under load, if it makes any difference. And if it still crunches, well then I'm going to open up this here, this casing or cover over the top. Looks like there's only 3 screws holding it in, so we've got one here, one just down there, and then another one just here. Okay, sorry about the focus, but yeah, I'll take them off and we'll have a look inside. This should just lift straight out. We'll be able to see the pinion and hopefully the spur as well, and see if there's any damage there. Alright, so I'm going to take the wheels off, guys. I'll swap them over. I'm not going to do no time lapse, fast forwarding stuff. You know, I'll just cut straight to it once I put the wheels on. We'll have a go outside on the back lawn here, see how it goes under load, and then just a process of elimination, guys, basically. Just want to see if I can get this thing running properly. Okay, before I put this wheel on, I just want to show you a closer look of the hub casing here, where it bolts onto the steering arm. It's all metal, so that's good. That's a good upgrade just there, and we've got the metal hexes like I said. Also noticed just then another difference that I forgot to point out in the review. This has got a alloy bash plate on the front subframe here of the chassis, while the truck here, it's just plastic. So that's another good upgrade over this model that they done on the new Truggy. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to finish putting all these wheels on. I've only put one on for now. I'll put the rest on. I just wanted to show you that upgraded part just there. Alright guys, I got all the 4 wheels put on. I mean, it doesn't look too bad with these wheels on there, you know, and these wheels are actually a lot better. They're grippier, they're foam filled, and they're much softer, and these grip really well compared to these Zinlihong 9125 wheels. These are, I'll be honest with you guys, these wheels are pretty much garbage. Even on the 9125 a couple of years ago, I changed them over because they got no foam for starters, foam insert or sponge insert, and these tires aren't that great. Even though they look pretty grippy, they're not that grippy at all. So you would have seen in the review video of this truck, this Truggy, it was peeling out really quickly, like very easily at the very start of the video. So yeah, I recommend changing them anyway, even if you did buy this truck. So I think these will, you know, not put much of a load on the gearing system or the motor now, because they're those smaller dimension tires, smaller size tires, and they're exactly like the 03A truck here now. So I'll give this a go now, and we'll see how it goes in the backyard here. Also, I noticed when I came home after doing the review, this battery here, this is the battery that came with it, 1600 milliamp hour 2S. This only had about 10% charge left in it, which I found rather odd, because I didn't run this truck for that long, and they claimed that it's supposed to have a 20-minute drive time on this, 15-20 minutes. So as you can see, my review was pretty short when I encountered the problems with this truck. So yeah, and it was fully charged when I took it out. So yeah, there's a lot of power draw coming out of this battery for it to only be 10% when I got home. So I've got another LiPo to try, which I know is a good one. So, you know, could the battery have been an issue for it cutting out? This I don't know. You know what I mean? So I doubt it, but I just found it odd that it was, I expected it to be at least 30% charge left in it after driving it around that day. Alright, enough talking. I'm going to put the battery in and we'll see how it goes on this and see if it starts playing up on me. So I've got the battery installed, so let's see. I can hear it crunching though. Yeah, see that. Wow, that wasn't good. So it's definitely the gear mesh. Yeah. Okay, so it should just stop there and cut out. Oh, I can bring it back. Stopped again. Rebind. Rebound it. So, I mean, it's stopping and then it's cutting out the bind on the transmitter. Alright, let's see what it's like without any load on it, like in my review video. Let me just hold it like that. Yeah, see, now it cut out. Look. So, alright. Let's pull it apart. I'll pull that top cover off the motor, and we'll check if there's any what we can see under that motor cover. See if the pinion's meshing with the spur and the diff gears, and take it from there. It's funny how the ESC is cutting out on me though, guys. That doesn't sound too good. So, I mean, even though these wheels will put less load, which I do recommend, I think they should have just came out with these wheels to start off with, like the 03A model. The other wheels seemed a bit too big for it. I think that's probably could have been the cause of the actual damage to this truck, was those large wheels, because they're putting too much load on that motor and the gear system on the back, especially the back. I don't think the front's locked up. I think the back is what's locked up there. So, all right, back in the shed. It's a process of elimination, guys. So, just trying to get down to the issues of this Truggy that I reviewed the other day. Right, so we're back in the shed. I've taken these 3 screws off. So we'll lift the motor up. Now there is grease in there. The pinion looks fine, the brass pinion. So I'll just put that aside. The gears are metal, guys, so it does have metal gears. The spur is metal, you can see down there. So doesn't seem to be any damage. Let me just try to focus this camera a bit better. There you go. Doesn't seem to be any damage on the teeth of these gears, as you can see. So I think possible issue could be the diff. Alright, so there is grease in there, and they are meshing alright. So I guess the next step is just to pull this rear subframe off and then inspect the rear diff here. That's what I'm going to do now, guys. I'll just pull it apart and I'll skip to that once I get it undone. Alright guys, I got it all apart. So as you can see, all the gears are metal, which is a good sign. They seem to be meshing pretty decently. There's no damage on any of these gears here. So it must come down to the diff. Now I think I can see a couple just here. Let me have a look, closer look. I'll wipe this diff down with a paper towel, but looks like a couple of these, yeah, like that one there, looks like it's damaged. Let me just try to focus in. A couple of these teeth look pretty worn already. So that looks like a broken tooth just there. Let me see. It's hard to focus in on this camera because it's got like an autofocus. I think that one there's damaged just here. You can see they're stripped a bit. So yeah guys, definitely looks like there's a problem with these diffs. See those three teeth or two teeth don't look right. Just there. Okay, so I think the diff is the culprit, guys. They're a bit too weak. See these teeth just here where the grease is? They look worn already, so well, I'll wipe this down clean because it's probably hard to see on the camera the actual extent of the damage there, but I'll wipe it down, clean it up, and then we'll have another look. Okay guys, well I've cleaned the diff up with some degreaser and you can see the evidence of this damage. We've got a chipped tooth just there, so you can see that, and there is damage to the other teeth. You can see shiny metal as well. So half the diff is okay, but you can see there are damaged teeth here. If I can just show you this view. See the shiny metal there, guys, where it's stripping out just there on the teeth. So they are all starting to wear out, but there is that broken one. There's a couple that are actually broken, so there you have it, guys. That's definitely the culprit, is the diff. All these other gear sets, you know, the spur and these other smaller gears, they seem fine. There's no damage to them at all. Okay, but yeah, I'll definitely stay clear of this one, guys. As you can see, there is quite a bit of dirty grease here where it was wearing out that diff and breaking that diff apart. So that's the culprit there, guys. I'd stay clear of this truck. I don't really recommend it at all. They've got to go back on the drawing board and put better diffs in them for sure. I think that's probably tripping out the ESC on this model, you know, and also the small motor here does tend to get hot rather quickly due to those bigger wheels. I think that's definitely a factor as well. So I think there's a few factors here. The larger wheels are putting too much load on this small brushless motor, which in turn is tripping the ESC to shut off, and there's also a diff problem on this one. Alright, they're not that strong at all. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick tear down, just trying to get to the issues of the XLF Truggy. probably just going to be a parts car now. All right. What I'll quickly do is show you these the insides of this the shocks. They do have a little diaphragm there, a seal, but you wouldn't be able to fill these with oil, I don't think. Maybe grease, but yeah, they definitely don't have any oil in them. They're just friction. Okay, so once you take the cap off, there is a tiny little diaphragm there that just sits on the top of the shock, but as you can see, there's no oil in them at all, and when you push down, there's no bottom seal either. Okay, so alright, so that's it for the shockies. They don't hold oil. The best thing you would do is probably put grease in them. Okay, so that's how the cap goes. And alright, or really heavy weight oil maybe would be okay in these, but anyway. Alright, well that's it guys. That's just a tear down. Hope you enjoyed this video anyway. I told you in my review I'll try to get to the bottom of it. Like I said just then, it's a factor of a few different things. The larger wheels, I think, personally, putting too much load on this motor, and then, you know, it's tripping out the ESC, and there's obviously this diff issue on this one. I mean, look at that. That's terrible. Couple of chipped teeth there. And, you know, this truck was only like 7 minutes or so drive out of it, you know, for that review before it started giving me problems. So unless there is another compatible diff, maybe from a Zinlihong 9125, maybe would fit this. I'm not too sure. I'm just speculating, or, you know, I'm just guessing really. But unless there's any diffs that would fit this truck, maybe the ones off the XLF might. I don't know. It's a very similar truck, but I never had issues with that one. Yeah, that's the main issue here, is the diffs, I think, as well. Okay, so they're going to shear off pretty quickly, and that's why I think other people have had problems with this truck. That's pretty bad. Anyway, guys, I think this is just going to be a parts car now. I might be able to use the ESC. You know, I don't think there is anything really wrong with the ESC, but I might put that motor in something else as well as the ESC. I don't know. I'll see what happens. Just be a donor vehicle now. All right. So anyway, guys, hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Okay. Post your comments below, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next RC video, guys. Thanks for watching, taking the time to watch this video, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye for now.